You just finished eating, maybe you feel satisfied, maybe a little heavy, maybe even relaxed, but what if I told you that right now, inside your body, something far more aggressive is happening than you realize? Your blood sugar isn't just rising, it's surging like a flood breaking through a dam. Your pancreas is scrambling, releasing insulin at full speed, trying to control the chaos, and here's the part most people never think about: this exact moment, right after you eat, is when your body quietly decides whether that food becomes energy or gets stored as stubborn belly fat. And it's happening not once in a while, but multiple times a day, every single day. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. What if the reason your belly fat isn't going away has nothing to do with what you're eating, but everything to do with what you do in the next 10 minutes? Because something as simple as sitting down right now could be locking that fat in place, while one small action could completely change that process. And once you understand what's actually happening inside your body in this window, you won't look at walking after eating the same way again. Right now, within 15 to 30 minutes after you finish eating, your body enters one of the most critical phases most people never even realize exists: a short, invisible window where everything you just ate is being rapidly broken down into glucose and released into your bloodstream. And if you could see inside your body, it wouldn't look calm at all. It would look like a 6-lane highway suddenly flooded with traffic, cars piling up, movement slowing down, pressure building. That's your blood sugar rising fast, and your pancreas immediately reacts, releasing insulin to push that glucose somewhere, into your muscles if they're active, or into your fat stores if they're not. And here's the dangerous part: this decision doesn't take hours, it happens quickly, right here in this window. And every time your blood sugar spikes higher than your body can handle efficiently, that excess doesn't just disappear, it gets stored, often around your abdomen, where it becomes harder and harder to burn later. Now think about this: if this process repeats itself 2 or 3 times a day, day after day, year after year, what do you think starts to happen? This isn't just about one meal. This is about a pattern your body is following over and over again, and the next thing you do right after eating either makes that pattern worse or interrupts it completely. And this is where most people unknowingly make the worst possible move: they eat, and then they sit. On the couch, at the table, in the car, it feels harmless, even natural, but inside your body, that decision changes everything. Because the moment you stop moving, your muscles go quiet, and when your muscles go quiet, one of the biggest systems responsible for clearing glucose from your bloodstream essentially shuts down. So now all that sugar from your meal has nowhere urgent to go, it lingers, it builds, and your insulin has to work even harder to deal with it, pushing more and more of that excess into storage, especially around your midsection. And here's the part that should concern you: this isn't a one-time mistake. This is a daily pattern. After breakfast, you sit; after lunch, you sit; after dinner, you sit again. And each time, your body repeats the same cycle: spike, store, repeat. Over time, that pattern compounds, slowly, quietly turning into stubborn belly fat that feels impossible to lose. And what makes it even more frustrating is that most people blame their diet, when in reality, it's this one simple habit, repeated after every meal, that's silently working against them, and unless you interrupt it, nothing changes. But here's where it gets fascinating: because your body already has a built-in system designed to handle this exact problem, and most people never activate it. Your muscles are not just there for movement. They are the largest glucose-absorbing system in your entire body, and hidden inside them is something like a network of microscopic doors, waiting to open the moment you start moving. Scientists call this system GLUT4, but think of it like thousands of tiny vacuum gates sitting inside your muscle cells. Normally, these gates need insulin to open, which means more stress on your body, more pressure on your pancreas, more chance of storing fat. But the moment your muscles contract, even lightly, something completely different happens. These gates swing open automatically, pulling glucose directly out of your bloodstream and into your muscles, without relying on insulin at all. It's like bypassing the entire traffic jam instantly. And here's the part most people miss: the system activates within minutes, not hours, not after an intense workout, but with simple movement. Which means your body already has the ability to reduce the dangerous post-meal spike, to lower fat storage, and to protect your metabolism, but only if you trigger it. And right now, most people are leaving this powerful system completely unused, simply because they're sitting when they should be moving. Now imagine this: instead of sitting down right after your meal, you stand up and start walking. Nothing intense, nothing extreme, just a slow, easy 10-minute walk. It sounds almost too simple to matter, right? But inside your body, something very different is happening. The moment you start moving, those GLUT4 doors in your muscles we talked about, they activate. And suddenly, your muscles become like a sponge for glucose, pulling sugar directly out of your bloodstream before it has a chance to build up, spike, and get stored as fat. Your blood sugar curve, instead of shooting up like a sharp mountain peak, starts to flatten, smoother, lower, controlled. And that changes everything for your pancreas, because now it doesn't have to fight a sudden overload. It can work calmly, efficiently, without overproducing insulin. And here's what makes this even more powerful: you don't need a gym, you don't need equipment, and you don't need to push your body hard. Even a gentle walk around your house or outside is enough to trigger this effect. But the real shock is this: those first 10 minutes after eating are not just free time, they are the most biologically sensitive window where your body is deciding how much of that meal becomes energy, and how much becomes stored fat. And by simply walking during that window, you can shift that entire outcome in your favor. But here's where most people completely miss the real power of this habit: it's not just about walking. It's about when you walk. Because your body doesn't wait patiently after you eat, it moves fast. That blood sugar spike we talked about? It begins within minutes, and in many cases, it peaks around the 15 to 30-minute mark. So if you sit for too long thinking, "I'll walk later," you've already lost the most important window. The spike has already happened, insulin has already been released, and a large part of that glucose has already been pushed toward storage. At that point, walking is still good for you, but it's no longer the same powerful intervention. It's like trying to stop water damage after the floor is already soaked. And this is exactly why so many people try to be healthy: they go for walks, they stay active, but they still struggle with belly fat and energy crashes, because the timing is off. Even a 30-minute delay can reduce the effect dramatically, meaning you miss out on that clean glucose clearance your muscles could have provided earlier. But when you start moving within that first 10 to 15 minutes after eating, you intercept the spike at its peak, you redirect it into muscle fuel instead of fat storage, and you completely change the metabolic outcome of that meal. That small timing shift is what separates slow damage from real control. Now here's the part that most people underestimate, because this isn't just about what happens after one meal, it's about what happens when you repeat it. Imagine this cycle: breakfast, lunch, dinner, 3 opportunities every single day where your body either experiences a sharp blood sugar spike followed by storage, or a controlled, flattened response where glucose is cleared efficiently. Over weeks, nothing feels dramatic, but inside your body, the difference is already starting to build. Your cells begin responding better to insulin, your muscles become more efficient at pulling in glucose, and your energy stops crashing the same way it used to. This is what researchers often refer to as metabolic compounding, small daily actions stacking up like interest over time. And the surprising part is this: it's not about intensity, it's about consistency. A simple 10-minute walk after meals doesn't feel like much in the moment, but repeated daily, it quietly reduces the stress on your pancreas, lowers post-meal spikes, and keeps more of that energy going where it should go, into your muscles instead of your waistline. And over time, that shift doesn't just affect fat storage, it affects how in control your body feels again. More stable energy, fewer crashes, better digestion, and a metabolism that feels less unpredictable. And when you zoom out, this one habit starts to look less like a small tip, and more like a long-term signal you're sending to your body every day, telling it whether to store stress or build health.